Yo, good evening, everybody. Good evening. This is something that is unprecedented. This is something that I have not done probably in 3 years, right? You know, I normally sleep this time of night. Can't sleep, got a lot on my mind. And I needed a therapy session with Raider Nation, man. Listen, man, my guy Graham Cam is in the place. We got over 110 in the room. Get wasted with your brother wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. You know, as you guys all know, as you see from the thumbnail, you might have heard on Twitter. You might have seen it on Instagram. You might have seen it come across your feed. You know, if you guys are up this late on the East Coast watching me, you are a sick puppy for the Raiders the same way I am. And if you're on the West Coast watching me, welcome. And if you have not seen me before, my name is Wasted Talent. And I'm here to bring you information, not affirmation. And you know what I'm saying? Affirmation. I messed that all up. But you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I decided to do this show, I did it because I was thinking about this on Twitter, right? I saw what happened. I was not happy initially when I heard that we had traded, you know, Jakorian Bennett. I was very, very high on Jakorian Bennett, man. He was like a breath of fresh air. I had a lot of high hopes for Jakorian Bennett. I thought that he would be someone who would fit into Pete Carroll's system. But if we're being honest here, Pete Carroll is not playing games. When you see something happening, they're tipping their pitches on the way that they want this roster to work, right? Darian Porter playing a lot of snaps. Then you see him out there getting snaps with the one-on-ones, right? He's winning one-on-one matchups. That is the measuring stick for corners in this league when they're doing these one-on-ones, and he is just, you know, blanket covering people. Salute to my brother Violator in the place, man. Salute, how you doing, brother? How are you, man? Yo, man, it's a pleasure to have you here, man. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I was upset when I first heard about this, and then I had to think about it. My man Sniper Jones, salute to my guy Sniper Jones, man. You know, he has a hell of a Twitter following. You know what I'm saying? Always is very, very impactful in the things that he tweets. Shout out to my guy Snipe. Snipe knew that I was tripping because I tweeted the Raiders got absolutely worked on this trade. But if I'm being honest, I don't really know, right? Because you got to look at it from this prism, right? And we're gonna break down the trade, the particulars of it. But when you think about the Eagles, the one thing and one hallmark for the Eagles is that they have a tremendous defensive line, right? So this is a young man who has not played a whole lot, and his name is Thomas Booker. So for those of you who don't know, the Philadelphia Eagles acquired Jakorian Bennett from the Las Vegas Raiders in exchange for defensive tackle Thomas Booker. And that's coming from NFL insider Ian Rappaport. It's reported, you know, Monday evening today. You know, and when I think of all this, right, I look back and I start thinking, Pete Carroll I have not really heard a lot about Jakorian Bennett. And I've heard, you know, through the grapevine that they've been shopping Jakorian Bennett for the last few weeks. They didn't get anybody to bite on him. So this is the best case scenario for our Raiders, man. Shout out to the over 251 of you guys in the room this late. It is no way that it's this many. I know 252 is normally a low number for us, but man, I am shocked at how many people pulled up this late, man. I really am. Now, when you start thinking about this, right, it's a favor for a favor. The Raiders clearly were not in the Jakorian Bennett business, and the Raiders clearly want to improve the defensive line because we let an all-pro walk out of the building, right? They want to have depth at the defensive tackle. Now, thing for me is this, right? Thing for me is this. Thomas Booker has not played a whole hell of a lot. He's not played a whole hell of a lot. And for the Eagles to bring in a guy like Jakorian Bennett, to me, I'm feeling a little apprehensive about this, right? Because he's yet another depth piece, man. This is a cornerback room that has Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Kelly Ringo, Adoree Jackson, and Mac Williams. I mean, they are loaded at the cornerback position, right? And then for the Raiders, you know, you got to look at this Thomas Booker thing and feel like, hey, man, this is a guy that won't get on the field with them. But he might be a hell of a player. He is out of Stanford, right? Maryland product, 10.5-inch hands, 33.25-inch arms, 6'3", 25 years old, 3 years of experience. And he's a guy who has not raised a whole lot of hell in the National Football League, if I'm being honest. You know, this is a guy, you know, from a career perspective, he has played 10 games for the Houston Texans. He was a rookie in 2022. He drew a blank in 2023. Wound up playing 17 games for the Philadelphia Eagles. He had a total of 17 tackles, 7 solo tackles, 10 assists, 1 sack, 1 pass defense. So that is, you know, in a nutshell, you know, Thomas Booker. Now, when he's with the Houston Texans, 29 tackles, 15 solo, 15 assists, 1.5 sacks, no, a half a sack, 2 pass defense. So this is nothing to write home about, ladies and gents. This is nothing to write home about. Salute, man, we almost got 400 in the room. Oh, my God. Oh, salute to my guy, Big Mike Raider, man. Let me get to something. Let me get to, because, guys, I'm trying to make heads or tails of this. I want to come in here and give you guys a harsh opinion, right? But I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, maybe you guys can educate me a little bit here. Maybe you can, because listen, to me, Jakorian Bennett had a whole hell of a lot of talent. And I feel like at the end of the day, what's wrong with having 3 or 4 young corners that are developing? I mean, am I crazy here? I mean, I hope I'm not, right? Bro, I really feel like the Eagles are going to take this guy and develop him. I am terrified of this trade. And I know, listen, Jakorian Bennett is a 4th-round pick here. It's not like the guy was the second coming of Charles Woodson. But, man, I saw a lot of promise out of Jakorian Bennett, if I'm being honest. And Big Little Bosco, you better get it. Yo, it is too late for that crap, Big Little Bosco. Don't get me started, get me all grumpy and stuff. I was in a good mood, Big Little Bosco. Get yourself blocked up in here. Salute to my dog, Big Little Bosco, man. Yeah, that's right, the most. Wasted after dark. Let that be a lesson to you, Demokes. You never know when I'm going to pop up. Shout out to my guy, Capital. If the Raiders secondary gets cooked consistently this season and our defensive line still looks like ass, that's an L for Spytek and Pete, and they got to wear it. And listen, bro, at the end of the day, yes, of course they would. But if there's anybody that's ever been behind the sideline for the Raiders, right, from a resume perspective that I trust, it is Pete Carroll. It is 100% Pete Carroll. I'm not going to doubt the guy. I got to see what happens, how it comes together. We got to see whether Pete's lost his fastball too, right? Because that's a real phenomenon, right? He has not coached in a while. Wasted what your brother wasted too. Tell a friend to tell a friend. But I want to hear. I need you guys to educate me a little bit. This is a time where we come together, we put our heads together, and we figure out what the F is going on here, man. Oh my God, man! Shout out to my guy Dan High Stakes Tesser. He didn't reach the height requirement of Pete, a boundary cornerback. I mean, do you really think that Pete Carroll would get rid of a guy that's a shorter guy that's super talented? I don't think so. I think, does Pete Carroll have a type? You damn right, right? But do I think that Pete Carroll would jettison a player because of his height and not his game? I don't necessarily believe that. Salute to my guy Cheeseman with the $5 smackaroonie, man. Pete saw enough in our secondary, plus guys in the practice squad to make this move. Trust the process, nation. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, bro. I am skeptical of everything, bro. I've trusted the process, and listen, I've done that with a lot lesser coaches, right? But I'm kind of, if I'm being honest, I don't come on here and get everybody all up in arms and go crazy about what's going on this offseason. But to tell me to trust any process, I gotta see it. I gotta feel it. I'm not coming on here with any negativity, but I'm not trusting any process until I see them out there playing against another team. My guy, JD, I'm glad they gave him a chance to ball with another organization. He was a solid dude. That's fair to the player. He just didn't fit the new scheme with the height and weight and the length and measure. I think we're making too much of that. I really do. I think we're making too much of that, because if Jakorian Bennett was playing at a level of certain guys that have been, excuse me, guys, that have been, good in this league, right? Do you think it's that much? Do you think that the height and the weight and the speed is that much, or do you think it was gameplay? I really don't. I think if Pete Carroll had a guy that was a tremendous corner, say if he had a Darryl Green or something like that, he's not getting rid of that guy just because he's not tall enough. I don't see it that way, man. Salute to the most. Waste is showing up to the lives I be watching. Came on like Scooby-Doo and Batman crossed over. What the F are you talking about, the most? You about to get blocked. My guy, Dwayne Thomas. I knew it was coming. I'm from Jersey. My whole family are Eagle fans. I think it was a good trade. We need a defensive tackle with the mentality that Philly plays with. They've always had a great D-line. But see, bro, listen, man. When you start talking about, the Eagles and their line and all that stuff, yeah, that stuff sounds good, right? But it sounds a lot better when you got Jordan Davis and you got, Jalen Carter playing on the line with you, right? I think, listen, man, and I know I'm all over the place, a little late, trying to get my bearings here. But what I would tell you is, when you start talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, right, they're great, and that group is great because they have a group of great players. This is not a situation where you are going to have, a guy by osmosis become a great player just because he played for the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I'm sorry. And that's a fact. And we got to go way, way back 30 years ago, right? But he had Ty Law in the late 90s. Hall of Famer at 5'11". That is a factual phenomenon right there. My guy, DeMarcus Webb. JB fell into the same box as Hobbs. Rehabbing an injury combined with this new regime with no ties, tough. The presser Patrick Graham said about his injury history, and it didn't help. And listen, these guys are making a premium on guys that are available. That is a premium for Pete Carroll and John Spytek. So if there's any tell about the way they go about their business, if you look at a guy as an injury-prone guy, that's a guy whose days are not long for the Raiders. They don't really screw around with that. My guy Sean Thoughts, we're literally losing our minds for a guy who played in flashes on a bad team last season. I trust the competition showed he wasn't right for this team. Sean Thoughts, I don't necessarily know that, bro. Look, everything I've seen from Jakorian Bennett, right, is a guy that works hard, young, talented corner, even when he was at Maryland. Even when he's at Maryland, I like Jakorian Bennett, man. I'm very, very sad to see him go. Very, very sad to see him go. My guy, Jay Cheeseman. Pete saw enough in our secondary plus guys in the practice squad to make this move. Trust the process, nation. Salute, man. Shock Bowers. He goes, it's obviously Pete wasn't going to play. You might as well get something for him. Yeah, listen, bro, it's cool. We got a half-eaten sandwich. Doesn't matter to me, right? But the thing is that are we giving up on Jakorian Bennett too early, man? The flashes I saw were things that will develop into a potential starter, man. Salute to Holy Moni Donut Shop with the $10 smackaroonie. Pause and move. JB was legit. He wasn't kissing people's head or tickling their feet. So what the F? Yo, what that? Holy moly donut show. I know this is the late night waste, but don't you come here with that crap. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Don't do that, man. Talk about the tickling of the toes of the feet. Listen, this is a family show. I've been throwing me under the bus. What the F is wrong with you, holy moly? I mean, come on here. You damn right, fuck you. I am late as hell. And you love it, too. This is the late night wasted show. I'm taking over for Jimmy Fallon here. The late night king right now. My guy, Chris Marone. Competition at its finest. JB was expendable. I wish him the best and hope it works out for both teams. Excited to see what this new DT can do with some more time on the field. Oh my God! Listen. You know, listen. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. So the Christian Wilkins move, right? Let's kind of unpack all of this, right? Do you think Pete Carroll and John Spytek and the powers that be are just looking for depth pieces, or are they trying to bring guys in that really, really, in a real way, can fulfill the void that has been left with the Christian Wilkins jettisoning? I mean, do you guys think that? Do you think that maybe Pete Carroll is crazy like a fox, getting rid of Jakorian Bennett, starting D-Cam, you know, kind of like I was saying? It's looking like D-Cam's going to be the third guy, right? Leaning into the guy he brought here. And see, that's the thing. You know, Carroll and Spytek owed Jakorian Bennett nothing. They owed him nothing, bro. They owed him nothing. Let's be for real. We got almost 500 in the room, man. Get wasted with your brother wasted. Raider Knight, what the F you say? Wondering why he didn't get. Yo, Raider Knight, you about to get effing blocked. Don't play with me like that. It's too late for that. You not play with me. You will get blocked, Raider Knight. Do not effing play around like that. Vader, I don't even know why I'm putting this up. Man, I feel like we got fleeced. Howie is a really good GM. And that's the thing, bro. Like, yo, Howie Roseman, anytime Howie Roseman makes a trade and he's in on a player of yours, you almost feel dirty dealing with the guy. Because the guy is a greaseball of mythic proportions. Scumbag, but a damn great GM. And anytime Howie Roseman's in on somebody, it makes me a little worried, bro. It really does. I mean, am I the only one here? My guy, Pierre Raider fan. Now I'm going to have to hear from all my Eagles buddies talk that smack about Bennett, especially if he develops through the season. And he will, because he's a hard worker. He got all the talent in the world, and he's a hard worker. He's willing to put the work in. He's willing to put in the pain. Guys like that normally are successful. Might not listen. Sometimes you get a payoff well beyond what you invested, right? Take, for instance, Micah Parsons. That's an investment that you can live with. His first 4 years, there's only been him and Reggie White that have had that many sacks in their first 4 years of their career. So I know where that man's going, right? But when you're trying to establish your culture, you're trying to establish yourself, it's a little bit different here, man. My guy, Sean Thoughts. He goes, rumor was the day that the Raiders were shopping. And I said that earlier in the show, that Raiders were shopping him for a few weeks. Maybe that's all they can get for him. Listen, and yo, that is all. Because listen, the thing about Jakorian Bennett, and that's why I had to kind of get my Mac and back in perspective, because I was really upset. And I said the Raiders got fleeced, but we don't really know that. And it's not like, you know, Jakorian Bennett in a room full of young talent is going to get prioritized over people that they brought in the building. It's just not going to happen, guys. Christopher Quinn, love the move. It speaks to the talent that we have at that position. Guy coming off the bench for Eagles D-line ain't bad for Bennett. Just got beat out and don't be scared. Yeah. I saw that. We were talking about, okay. All right, you talking about Cam, right? All right, my guy. Chris Marone, Eagles fans are saying that we got a real one. You never know. Positivity wasted. Yo, hype for the game Thursday. Let's go. I'm hyped too, bro. I really want to see what this team looks like catching some live bullets, man. I really want to see. I want to see how prolific these guys are. Tiger Woods. He goes, I heard Somebody say something about listen, Tiger Woods. Let me get you on out of here. To the gulags you go, Tiger Woods. Gulags you go. It's too effing late for this. I'm telling you right now, I have an itchy block button today. You will be getting blocked unceremoniously. Effing bum. Anthony's in the place. Anthony, don't you have something to do? F up out of here. James J. Hey, wasted. Got on late. Seems like JB never turned his head, and he seemed to swipe at the ball in the last second. Not a true ball hawk, and he wasn't their guy. Either way, wish him the best. Go Raiders. Now, look, this is the thing, right? This is the thing, man. I don't like when you get guys that are these tweeners like Jakorian Bennett because they have not gotten the big money yet for the most part, right? And if they come from a certain kind of family, right? If I'll be honest with you, if wait, what the hell just happened here, man? Listen, Jakorian. And I'm trying to get my thoughts together, right? Because listen, little tired. I'm tweaking being on this late. I got to get myself together, man. Y'all, I had to see your moment. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm normally able to play it off, y'all. I just had to see your moment. I'm in the middle of talking, and it just left me. What the F is going on here, man? Yo, he doesn't really have eye-popping stats, any sort, but he does drive the O-line back. From the eye test, it could create openings about our rushers. Still not so. I see some though. Yeah, man. Look, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I am not happy about this. From face value, I'm not happy about this, right? Because I feel like this kid that the Raiders got, this is a guy that the Eagles were most likely probably going to cut, right? Am I glad that they got something for Jakorian Bennett? Yeah. Would it have raised the eyebrow if they got nothing for him? Yeah, but I don't know. Like they said they were shopping him, but it's like, who were they shopping him to? Right? Because I can't see a guy like Bennett not having value around the league. Yeah, man, I've been going through it lately anyway, bro. Yeah, you're right about that, man. But we back in business, man. Yeah, Raider Night, and that's the thing. It reminds me a lot about the Amik Robertson trade. This is a guy that a lot of people in Raider Nation were on the fence with, right? And then he went somewhere and got an opportunity to get more snaps and completely cook. You know, and I don't want that to happen, man. Look, anytime you deal with a Howie Roseman, man, you have to be very, very leery about that. Yo, maybe Pete and Spytech have something cooking in the kitchen with the cap space available, getting a veteran free agent with our young corner room. Just a thought. I don't necessarily see them going that route. I think they want to win. I think Pete wants to get in the playoffs. He wants to win 10 games. But I don't think that the Raiders are particularly going for it now. I think the Raiders are leaving themselves open to make a move in the middle of the season. You know, it's always a player that's a star player that gets disgruntled that one side of town. I think the Raiders are probably going to do that because it gives them the latitude to allow these young guys to develop. But if I'm being honest, man, it doesn't normally work in our favor when we deal with a Howie Roseman. It doesn't. Now, guys, let's get into a few other things. I think we've beat this to death, right? I think we've definitely beat this whole situation to death, man. You know, you waste with your brother, wasted, tell a friend and tell a friend. I am up doing the late night show. Oh my God, we got almost 600 in the room, man. 600 in the room this damn late is a testament to every single one of you guys, man. So look, let's get into some more stuff, right? And that's look. I wanted to get into this. There are a lot of people who are up in arms about the whole Jackson Powers Johnson thing. They're up in arms about, you know, him not being the center. right? Listen, we spoke about this yesterday, but shout out to the Mokes for bringing this up. I'm going to be real with you, man. I think, and I spoke about this yesterday, I think the Raiders are more interested in having their 5 best offensive linemen play no matter what the position is. And I think that, a lot of us thought that it was posturing and it was nonsense. But if I'm being real, if you look at the way they've done their business this offseason, they have not really tried to hide what they're doing and what their intentions are, based off of the snaps these guys are getting in practice and how they're getting their work in practice. The Raiders are not hiding their business, bro. And I can tell you that right now, man. I mean, the guy was playing with the third squad the whole offseason, man. He was getting cut. We got a position of need for him. I feel you, man. I feel you. My guy, Lativarian Savage, 600 people plus that. Yo, get the F up out of here, Lativarian Savage. Talk about some damn toes. That ain't got nothing to do with me, man. This regime took offense to JPJ's offseason comments by proclaiming center without even competing. And they said, hell no, we giving it to Meredith. That has nothing to do, Paper Chase, nothing to do with it, man. How can you surmise that Pete Carroll was offended by that? How do you know Pete Carroll even saw that? Come to F on, bro. Come on, man. Like you guys are better than that. You better than that. That is not the deal, man. They got here. They probably think that the way that Jackson Powers Johnson's frame is, the amount he weighs, his strength, that he can make it playing guard. I don't necessarily know if the Raiders can be a dominant and imposing offensive line playing Jordan Meredith, that, offensive lineman, like not offensive line, but offensive guard. And I think that Pete Carroll and Spot Tech and those guys look at his frame, they look at his build and his skill set, and they feel like he would be a better center. And they most likely feel like JPJ it gives them the chance to just fill a hole with a tremendous player, so they have more autonomy what's going on to replace some of these other guys, man. As long as the O-line unit is the top 10 in the league, Geno and Genty will cook. I mean, yeah, man. Yeah, they should. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things about Geno Smith that people don't speak about enough, is how much he was running for his life out there in Seattle. Nobody talks about it. But I'm here to tell you, man, look, we sit up here in armchair GM this whole situation, but, man, looking at the highlights from practice, man, Geno Smith looked absolutely sensational today, man. The last few days, the guy has looked sensational. And I don't necessarily know if, the Raiders keeping him upright a little bit more than he was out there will help him. But, man, he has been sensational, man. Wasted. Tell me what Meredith did to make him stand out at center before even learning the position. You can't tell me that center is needed to be upgraded when JPJ was cooking when he had a shot. I don't think that's what the case is. I think that what Meredith did was he played offensive guard really well last year. He did. And I think there were at times when he got beat. I think I'm gonna be real with you, man. I think the times when he got beat, they looked around. They said, "Look, man, his skill set translate better to center. He's a smaller guy. They weren't willing to be in the Andre James business, and they think that JPJ can play both positions. It will probably be better for them. I'll be honest with you, man. Yo, what's going on, my man, Lord Buddy Bear, in the place to be, man? My guy, Quadre Shamsuddin's in a place. Salute. I just told Graphic and Hammer with the Bugs getting the reps, Pete is trying to replicate the boom. Even with Wes, that's his Wagner. Yeah, like, look, man, it looks like Pete is trying to draw on some of that. I love the fact that you got a Patrick Graham in the building, right? Because Patrick Graham is a very, very bright play caller. He's a very, very bright defensive mind. And I think that mind needed to be refined a little bit with Pete in the building, man. That is a fact. Shout out to my guy, Quadre Shamsuddin, as always, coming through, blessing us, man. Yeah, but guard is needed to be upgraded. I think the staff is realizing Kappa is not it. So they're putting JPJ in there. I mean, bro, I don't think that they thought Alex Kappa was going to start. I think what Alex Kappa represents for the Raiders is depth. I think that's what he represents. And I think that they've kind of, like, look, they've kind of shied away from going out and getting big ticket free agent guys. They've kind of shied away from going out there and freaking, trying to break the bank. And I think what the Raiders are trying to do is they're trying to develop all of these groups, and they're going to go for it next year. I think they're going to try to make the playoffs, but I don't think that the Raiders are going to go spend a whole hell of a lot of money, man. Yo, I don't get it. So because Meredith is smaller, he should be a center over a guy with all pro potential at the position. Why not have Meredith be the backup and let the rookies cook? We saw what Glaze did. And, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I mean, Glaze is a tackle and everything, but I agree with you, Paper Chase. I agree. I think that they should have JPJ as center, if I'm being honest. I do, right? But at the end of the day, Pete's there. It's his ball. He knows what he wants to do. He knows what he wants to accomplish. He knows the skill set of those guys. And I think it's more in the spirit of getting the 5 best linemen out there as opposed to have a guy that has starting potential backing a guy that's better than him at the position. Like, I don't think Meredith translates well being a guard for the entire season and playing a whole rigorous schedule. I don't think that will hold up, if I'm being honest, man. My guy Top Beats. This is about red flags wasted. You can't talk about competitions being the benchmark and then promise a mediocre player the position before training camp. JPJ is the better center. Now, JB is traded for mediocre DT. Red flags, red flags. Listen, the sky is always falling, Chicken Little. Top Beats, I mean, what the F is going on with you, man? The sky is always falling. Listen, all of these things, listen, it's not like we traded Deion Sanders here today, man. I'm okay. Am I sad to see Jakorian go? Yes, but we'll be fine, bro. Like, relax. I got Trucker Marcus in a place, man. Yo, and I can't wait to the preseason games too, man. I can't wait, man. Shout out. Yo, you want the best 5 out there. Mud Effers keep crying about JPG not being at center, but he's a starter on the line. And that's the crux of what I'm trying to say, guys. It is a little late. I am not as sharp as I normally am. But to me, it's more of a it's more of that, right? It's more of them not having a gaping hole on that line where you have a guy that's a turnstile. I think now you have a situation where all these people can hold their own. As long as we have consistency starting with coaching, find a core offensive defense that we can add to versus the same old stuff, it's a foundation to build in my eyes. I'm just saying, hey, yo, a guy can we trust, man. Let me tell you something. That was one of, if not the best comment of the day. I gotta let you cook. Oh, let him cook. What a hell of a damn comment, man. Salute. Leaky T. Fans talk about trading for Scary Terry and Parsons. Can we see what our team looks like before we make big moves? And bro, look, this is the thing, bro. And you guys got to understand something. There's always that Raider. It's almost like they got to put the Raiders in some of these moves to make it relevant and make it go viral around the league. I think a lot of times some of this information that's out there, some of this information that's out there gets put out there for a particular reason, right? A lot of this stuff gets put out there for, like, when the Raiders get involved, it drives up the price on everybody. It drives up, even if we have nothing to do with the trade, immediately when we get involved, that kind of starts making things happen, right? Especially in this situation, right? You talking about Terry McLaurin, you talking about Micah Parsons and guys like that. Listen, bro, the one thing I am not receptive to, I am always receptive to get talented football players. I am always receptive to getting guys that are borderline walking Hall of Famers. I'm on board with that. What I'm not on board with is painting ourselves in a corner. That's what I'm not on board with. I think when you start making moves like that, I think when you go out there and you have too many big ticket guys on the roster, and instead of allowing the guys that you have on the roster to develop, you are putting yourself behind the 8 ball if it doesn't work, because then you don't have the full myriad of draft capital. You don't have the full myriad of just like you don't have the full myriad of everything you need to roll, right? So look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like you're in a situation when you start bringing in big ticket guys, you don't have access to the money, you don't have access to the draft picks, and then now what you're doing is you're trading that one player for possibly several players, possibly several starters, and you still got to pay the guy. So when you start talking about bringing these guys in, if these guys were free agents, I will be all in on it, all in. But the fact that I got to give up a king's ransom to get you two, no effing way. I'm sorry, man. Yo, what you mean? It's my fault. Bro, it is my fault, bro. It is definitely my fault, man. Yo, my guy, Raider Rob, what's good, Unlimited? I think even trade. We have a good trade history with the Eagles, right? Now we could just get Simmons or Gilmore already, Lonnie and Jakorian out. Look, I think the Lonnie Johnson thing, bro, I think we got the answers in the building right there. I don't think the Raiders are necessary. Like, we had kind of a log jam at safety anyway, right? I think Lonnie Johnson was going to get some burn at the nickel too, right? But he'll be back bigger and better. But I don't think that the Raiders' answers to Lonnie Johnson going down are outside of the building, because that was a crazy battle anyway. If I'm being honest, I think he's like injured, so he's on injured reserve, and that's the end of it. So he's out of the running. But there's a lot of talented ball players in that group, man. A lot of talented ball players in that group. Shout out to everybody in the room, man. We got almost 700 in the room. Waste what your brother wasted. Yeah, man. It was just a fluke accident, right? Like, Max rolled up on him, after a play, and he broke his fib. It's just sad, man, because I just saw that guy, really effusive of his praise of the Raiders, man, and him wanting to retire him wanting to stay here, man. So I hate that for him, man. I was so hyped for that guy. So hyped for him. Anthony, enough. He says, I love Gil. You're blocked. That's it. He's in timeout. Anthony, get your crap together. It's your nonsense. The gulags. The F up out of here, guys. So look, what else can we gonna get into, y'all? Did you guys see that Geno Smith interview today? Did you guys see the Geno Smith interview today? Or hear it? Did you guys? I mean, man, it was something that, hold on. It was dope to hear him talk, man. It was dope to hear him talk. One thing I'm loving about the whole Geno Smith thing is his chemistry with his chemistry with Brock Bowers and the tight ends, man. That guy's been throwing the ball all over the place with these dudes, man. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. It looks like he's definitely going to cook this year if we can protect him. My guy Top Beats with a $10 holler. All I'm saying is JB was our best corner. Yet Pete Carroll's mind, he was a second string backup. Starting to question these moves by the so-called infallible Pete and Spytek. You should too. Look, Top, how can I? Listen, bro, it ain't like, Pete Carroll was raising a whole, not Pete Carroll, but Jakorian Bennett was raising a whole lot of hell with the Raiders. Like, let's go into Jakorian Bennett's stats, bro. Like, listen, Jakorian Bennett has appeared in 24 games. He started 11. He's recorded 58 total tackles, 11 passes defense. In 24, he played 10 games with 7 starts, notching 26 tackles and 8 passes defense. Look, Top, this is not like, the Raiders went out there and traded like Patrick Surtain, bro. Like that is not what we're dealing with here, bro. This was a fringe guy to begin with, bro. This is a fringe guy to begin with, Top. Come on, bro. Quadre Sam Shadeen with the $5 smackaroo. We got 700 in the room. Waste what your brother wasted. We've been burnt too many times with these wide receivers. This is our best receiving group of years. Tight ends as well. Now Parsons, I'll take that. And that'll make up for Carter. Bro, nothing's gonna make up for that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I talked about this on my last show. When you guys talk about getting Micah Parsons, bro, It's never gonna happen here, bro. I can't see John Spytek giving up 3 first-rounders and a second, a third, and still having to break the Brinks truck and pay this guy. I don't see it. If he's a free agent, hell yeah, do what you got to do. Even if you got to pay him a little bit more than Max. Max will be, he's a big boy. He wouldn't care. But if you got to go out and give up your future, you are mortgaging for one player. You're mortgaging your future for the next 8 to 10 years, man. I'm just out on all the big ticket items, bro. I'm out on it. McGee's, if Geno isn't good, we won't be good, and we'll be high in the draft again and draft our franchise quarterback. So it's a win-win, right? But I'm going to be honest with you. I think Geno is going to be terrific this year. I look, I'm willing to put everything on it. I don't think the Raiders are going to be the worst in the league or even close to it. I'm going to be honest with you. Westwood is in a place. Same reason they likely stayed away from Jai Alexander. The man can't tackle anymore. And that's one thing about Pete, man. He's an old school football coach. And the guys that are with him approach things in an old school manner. And that's all I'm going to say, man. That is all I'm going to say. Yo, it's crazy because money is not an issue this season. He's one of the most slept on DBs in the league. I still don't understand the trade. L11. Look, bro, I'm not happy about the trade, right? But it's not the end of the world. They most likely don't. They're showing you how much they value Jakorian Bennett. You heard it all offseason. You heard that he wasn't getting any run with the first groups. You haven't heard any beat reporters bring his name up. You've heard them bring up the name of his cohorts in their secondary, but never you. It's crazy. Get the F up out of here with that crap. And bro, like I said, man, like they didn't value the guy, and they got rid of him, and they got something in return. They got a player in return, and you know, if I'm being honest, I'm happy about that. At least they got something for the guy. Yo, they just traded another Eagles player. What? Get the F up out of here, Vader. Yes, Kenny. And wasted won't be awake for. What the? Yo, what is going on here, man? Now, look, man. I've been telling you guys, Cameron Richardson is a guy that is going to cook this year. I think he's one of, and I think Gritty Vance coming on has also been another issue too, man. Yeah, no, look, and I've been hearing that too. Look, guys, you guys know Wasted been told you about Cameron Richardson. I saw it last year in his game, and he has the measurables. I'm telling you, Cameron Richardson is going to cook this year. 100%. My guy, L11. Yeah, I agree, Wasted. I knew the writer was on the wall, but I just don't understand why though. But bro, listen, if the guy played up to their capabilities or his capabilities, and he could put that on tape and put it together and practice in a real way, he'd still be here. Pete Carroll is not in the business of running good players out of the building just because they don't fit a quote-unquote archetype. I don't see that. You know, everybody talks about the Legion of Boom and how big they were and this, that, and the third, and he loves big corners, but it's the same guy who drafted Earl Thomas. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know, man. But I think, you know, and I just want to put in a pin in this Jakorian Bennett thing. Listen, this all happened because they assessed the roster. They got what they need. They jettisoned what they don't feel like they need. And Pete Carroll has been a guru with corners, and if he got rid of them, I trust it. I'm sorry. I don't want to be the glass half empty guy here, man. Shout out to my guy Hug D's with the $2 smackaroni. Have you ever seen Pete with bad corners? No, I haven't, bro. Salute to my guy, my God. Hug is in a place, man. Salute, man. Yeah, man. Let Pete cook. No one in here knows more than Pete. And, bro, and that's a fact, bro. That's why I'm not going to sit up here and play armchair GM. They got rid of him. He didn't fit what they were doing. But the problem is that I just know how it normally goes with the Eagles. They go out there and they trade for guys and they develop them very, very well, man. Self-made 89. We got an Eagles fan in the place to be. Booker didn't have many snaps, but he was a fan favorite. Can't speak for his play, but the locker room will love him. And bro, look, we got enough guys that the locker room will love, if I'm being honest. Can this kid play football? I mean, and that's why I'm in with it. Can he play football? Salute to everybody in the chat. I think I'm running out of gas here, man. Shout out to my guy Ray Loso in the place to be. Spytech is going to try and sign. Get the F up out of it. Ray Loso, you know what, man? Look, let me tell you guys something about this crap with the feet picks and all this nonsense you guys are talking about. This is a family show. You are being put in timeout in the gulags for the last 10 minutes of this show. And you let that be a lesson to you, Ray Loso. Watch your effing mouth. Bennett was okay, but he's injured more. And see, bro, that is the hallmark to how they've been going about their business. They've been running all these injury-prone jokers out the building, y'all. Running them out of the building. Ray Knight says, when we started winning, they're going to be like Jakorian who? Possibly. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Spy is playing chess with us fans of playing checkers. You want to go to jail or you want to go home. Tuesday a.m. here in New Jersey. Thanks, Wasted, for going live after dark. Shout out to you, Chris Marone. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. I mean, you are in Jersey right now. Salute to you. I can't believe you still up, my brother. I don't know what the hell that means, but salute to you. Watch your mouth. That was soap up in here, man. But no, listen, guys, I'm running out of gas here, man. We're going to touch on a few more things, you know, in the news cycle, and I'm going to get up out of here, man. Yo, Nate, hey, man. Hello, sir. I've been watching since the beginning. Love your take on things. Thank you, Nate. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't think I have been as sharp as I normally am right now because I'm up so late. I'm telling you now, man, it is like my thought process is I'll start cooking and then it just gets going with the wind. I'm terrible here. Yo, I got Quandre Diggs, John Johnson out there also. One event with the youngsters. Salute, Wasted. I'm 56, been a fan since 78. Love my Geezer Raider fans. Bro, man, been a fan a long time, bro. And I'm going to be honest with you. You know, Quandre Diggs, the guy that played for Pete. I just think that what's going on is just these guys are putting this team together. They're putting it together in their own image. They want a physical football team. They want an available football team. They want a professional football team. They don't want little kids in their locker room, bro. They do not want little kids in their locker room. So when you start talking about, you know, Quandre Diggs, guys like that, I don't think that Pete is going to go back and go to the well with somebody. Like when he didn't bring in Shaq Griffin, bro, I kind of knew what kind of time Pete's on. Pete is really trying to develop these guys, man. Yeah, John Johnson ain't it. So let me ask you guys a question before I leave, man. Do you guys feel like it is worth it to bring in another safety? Do you? I mean, are you guys receptive to the Raiders going out there and kicking the tires on Justin Simmons? Are you guys receptive to that? I mean, because look, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I like all the way around, and I know I got the same answer for a lot of this stuff, bro. I don't want to see the Raiders bring in anybody. I want to see them rock with who they have right now. I really do. I want to see some preseason games. I want to see how these guys are balling. I do. I'm okay with them sticking and holding serve right now. And listen, my guy Kalani Picard just said, let the young bucks play. Let them all play, bro. Let the Chris Smiths play. Let all these guys play so we can see what the hell we got. I think that is what's been happening over the last few years, that we lose we take our eye off of the ball. We as Raider fans, we want it all now. What is wrong with building and keeping the guys in the building lucid, keep these guys on the field, see what you have, and then making the move? You're only going to see so much from training camp. You need to see these guys play in a real game situation, man. Excellence is back in order, ladies and gentlemen. That's a fact, man. He goes, yeah, the Raiders are in no position not to get all the help they need. But let me ask you a question. Do the Raiders have to get all the help they need and address every single problem that this team has in one offseason? I mean, no team is built like that, bro. And look, I know Peter's on a short timeline. Listen, he's here for a good time, not a long time, right? It's crazy because I just got my second win now. It's crazy. I was about to end the show, and I got my second win. Unbelievable. I mean, what the F is wrong with me, bro? God! Wow! Being crazy. But just like I said, man, like, why do we feel as fans that we need everything now? I don't feel like we need everything now. I mean, do you? It is for me, right? And this is just my opinion, right? Who am I? It is more important to me that the Raiders build a real foundation this year to build upon, as opposed to going out there and trying to fill gaps with temporary situations, going out and spending money on big ticket items, going out there and just playing Madden. This is not Madden franchise mode, man. I'm going to be honest with you, man. See what you got before you pay top dollar for someone who might work out. Don't need another DA. Yeah, and look, man, listen. Look, after all of this stuff, the Christian Wilkins, you can call it Raider PTSD. I am done with big-time free agents. I'm done with it. I'm done. It never works because free agents only work when the rest of the team around them are good. If they come here and the rest of the team around them is trash, they're going to suffer in some way. They might suffer. Their play might suffer, right? Or their mental might suffer and they might want to get the hell out of here. I mean, I'm sorry, man. Oh, my God. The amount of good moves they've done to set a foundation overall gives me faith they can kick into high gear next offseason. And that's more so what I'm looking for. Like, what I'm looking for the Raiders road, my expectations is 8 to 10 wins. 8 to 10 wins, no matter how that throws down, whether that makes you to the playoffs or you just a shade of outside getting the play. That is a great season for me. I don't want the Raiders to be 4 and 13 or, 6 and 11 and all this crap. I want them to be a team that is viable to make the playoffs deep into the season. That's all you can ask for in their first term. But the thing is, the Raiders can really take a tremendous jump this year because the one thing that we did was we located the quarterback. When you have a great pass rusher, you got a quarterback that you can depend on, right? You have a left tackle. You have a young stud guard and or center. Right? You have a stud young running back. The Raiders can turn this thing around this year, right? I just don't want them to operate from the prism that they feel like they already have. I want these young guys to go out there and play and showcase their talent. I want them to play their ways into the playoffs. Reps. It's a young man's game. Having a vet in the room is always a good thing, right? But the thing is, it's not mandatory anymore. These guys come into the league, man, and they pick up things quick. Look at Porter. I'm going to be honest with you. This Jakorian Bennett thing that happened earlier today, is squarely because of the development of Porter. 100%. The F is going on. Every damn year is looking forward to next year. These mother effers got to win now. P is brought in to win now. Skips. Building for the future and winning this year are not mutually exclusive. It's not one or the other. You can do both things at the same time, Skips. The thing is that winning in free agency is not winning on the field, bro. And you don't win in free agency, bro, all the time. You have to establish a winning culture first. Because once you establish that, right, if you're winning, that means that this guy's playing well, this guy has confidence, this guy's has, okay, look, we got to tweak this. Let's go and go get this one guy. Let's change everything. Give an example, the Eagles. The Eagles built a whole team around, you know, that Saquon Barkley move. They drafted Jalen Hurts. They made a move to get A.J. Brown, but they drafted Devontae Smith. They drafted Jalen Carter. They drafted Jordan Davis. They drafted, you know, Smith, Nolan Smith, all these guys. They drafted these guys. Lane Johnson, they drafted these guys, bro. Guess what? When it was time to get a running back, they went and got the very best one in the league, backed up the Brinks truck for him, took care of A.J. Brown, and they won a chip. Then they took care of their quarterback. That is how you effing win. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you, bro. But this is what we've been. J23 is right. Bottom tier teams spend money over and over and over again. That is what bottom feeders do. Great teams build through the draft. I cannot believe we got almost 800 people in the room this late. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Salute to everybody on Twitter. Yo, do me a favor, too. On Twitter, you guys, I need my Twitter following to go up. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, what the F are you waiting for? And I know this show's been a little choppy. It's late. It's not my thing to go this late. But this has been information and not affirmation. If I do say so myself, my guy Big Little Bosco wasted. That's a fact. You bring in free agents when you have the culture built. You bring in high-priced players with entitlement, thinking that he's our savior, and he always fails. Even coaches have done the same thing, and that's a fact. Thank you. It's getting out of hand, man. It's getting out of effing hand. John Mill said, the late night wasted is fine. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. It is 9:37 in California, man. 9:37. Fredo, just turn in. Don't know much about Booker. I really like Bennett. Wish him well. Just not when he plays us. And that's a fact. And nobody knows. Anybody that sits up there and tells you they know a lot about this kid Booker, the Eagles fans say they like him. He's a fan favorite. All this. Every time we bring somebody in, we hear this shit. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't buy it. Until I see him on the field, I don't buy it, man. Shout out to Top Beats, man. Y'all should know better than I do. Alive After 10 got me feeling certain. DeMokes, you got to get the F up out of here with that crap. Now, look. My guy Big Mike says, now you got me up past my bedtime, bro. Listen, Big Mike, man. Listen, bro. I didn't even know you were still watching, my brother. It's 9:38, guys. And DeMokes, listen, you will be unceremoniously blocked with your crap. Rated Rob says, love your interview with JT the Brick, OG. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. It's the best late show I've seen since the 70s. Thank you, bro. Love the avatar, too, man. Hey, DeMokes, listen. Go over to OnlyFans with that crap. This is a family show. This is a family effing show. DeMokes, I'm telling you right now.
Angry man, what you doing here? Man, sit your ass down.
Oh, man, DeMokes, I had to do it to you, bro. Do not get blocked. Lord Vaughn. Oh, look at Bill Gates. That's crazy, yo. Booker is solid, but we definitely won this trade. Ringo was ass. Damn. Man, look, I'm telling you, look, guys, look, I don't even want to keep talking about this, man. So you can't leave, you're on fire. Now, I think it's about time we go and wheel this thing back into the train tracks. Westwood, going on one on the East Coast, wasted up late night. Freddie G. Sanford. G stands for go to F and bed. Get that F up out of here, man. The F up out of here, man. Thank you, Top Beats. Keep your finger on the trigger and get these bums out of here with their crap. But guys, listen, it's late. Time to go to bed. Raider Night is about to go back to the gulags again. But guys, man, love every single one of y'all. Appreciate you guys for pulling up, man. This has really been therapy for me. Really been therapy, guys. I think I might have fallen asleep on the air about 4 times. Thank you, Ain't No Way. Appreciate you. Look, the lives will get better when I get. Look, guys, lately I will go back to what I normally get on the air, but this is something we needed to talk about. I don't necessarily know whether we got all we needed out of this. I think we're gonna have to stay tuned. We got to put a pin in this situation and see how this works out for the Raiders, right? But we're pulling the train into the train station. It's time to go to bed for every single one. It's time to say goodbye to all my Raider friends. But what I will say is this, guys. Be very, very careful with this trade because Howie Roseman is a monster. He's a monster, and it worries me, man. So just that's all I'm going to say. Now, when we start talking about this young defensive lineman, you know, you got Zach Carter, you got all these guys. They're looking to outfit this team with some more depth there. But if I'm being honest, I don't really know how this is going to work out. There are a lot of people that have a lot of praise on this kid. There are some people that say that he is going to be a star and all this other stuff, man. But it remains to be seen, guys. But guys, love every single one of you guys. You guys have a terrific night. And that's right, Mr. Wasted is definitely in the neighborhood, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Look, if I could put a jinx on anybody, I want to jinx the Eagles on this. So who other than Fat Joe to jinx anybody?
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Damn right it ain't, man. If you got me up at almost 1 o'clock in the morning, my God, the price is going up. You guys have a terrific night, man. I got to get out of here, man. Good night, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow.